Hi guys, I'm Taranga here. So today I came to Polonnaruwa. So this is not one of my tours, but just came alone. Wanted to do a solo tour around the ancient city of Polonnaruwa. So going to start in the morning, and I'm going to visit all the monuments and things that we can see in Polonnaruwa today. So the best way to do a Pollonnaruwa city tour is to rent a bicycle. So in the morning, you can see in my behind me, I rented this bicycle, and I'm going to use this, ride this one, and do the tour around the city. Sitting in front is this lake Parakramabahu. It's the large lake that we have in the Pollonnaruwa city. This was built by King Parakramabahu, who was recognized as the greatest king of Sri Lanka by many. And he said that not even one bit of water should be allowed to go to the sea without being used by people for doing something. So he built this large lake to make sure it happens in that way. So early morning, I met this gang of these monkeys. These guys are the talk macaques that are endemic to Sri Lanka. So they are playing around everywhere. There's quite a large group here. So the first place I'm visiting today is the audience hall of King Nissanka, and this audience hall, as you can see, it is done with stone pillars, and in each of these stone pillars he has inscribed the letters of who is standing at that pillar. So as you can see, this is a beautifully crafted building, and there are many stone pillars. And this is the throne where King Nissanka was sitting, and it is clearly inscribed that it is the throne of King Nissanka here. All these pillars represent those chieftains that were supposed to sit at each of these pillars, and it is clearly written who is the person that is supposed to sit on each of these pillars, as you can see here in this inscription, and in this one also. And besides the audience hall, there's this inscription that the king has done, and here in this he says that he has won wars against India, and he has safeguarded the country, and he has done various donations to people, as well as he has developed many temples and the economy of the country. And this seat with this inscription he has used to sit to watch these recreational activities and sports activities that are happening around here. So what you see behind me now is the palace of King Nissanka. So most of the palace, although it is large, it is in ruins now. This is mainly due to the fact that around after around 30 years after the demise of the king, an invader called Kalinga Maga invaded Polonnaruwa, and he burned down most of the buildings that are in Polonnaruwa. Uh, so due to that, only parts of all those marvelous structures that were built at the time survived. So this is the palace, and you see the audience hall of King Nissanka also close to the palace. So there is another building besides the palace. This has quite thick walls, but still this building has not been identified yet as what this is. It's quite cool in here with the coolness of the wind and the water. It's quite huge walls here facing the lake, as you can see. And this had been a really good place for the kings to come and stay when it is hot, because this is the dry zone. In some months it gets really hot, so building this kind of a building structure or a small palace inside the lake makes them counter this heat. What we see there in the distance is another building that built inside the lake. Let me zoom it for you. Here, this is also built inside the lake, and this is called the Sitamali or the Cool Palace. That is to make sure that when it is very hot, the king can go in there and not feel the heat as such. So I left my bicycle there, still standing safe there. This is a water tank that they have made to collect water, and when we go down from here, we can see the shower that the king and his family had used to have a bath in. As you can see, this is the place where water comes in from the tank and falls down from the shower. So it's almost like a modern day shower that they have had here in the 12th century. I'm going to get down there, maybe have a shower. Okay, there are nice designs to go with the shower also. Okay. Okay. So there's no water coming here, otherwise it's a really good time to have a shower and feel fresh. So what we see here is one of the sluices where water comes out of the Parakramabahu, and there are many such sluices around this lake, and water comes out through this sluice, and through a canal they get distributed. And before the water comes out of the sluice, this system is there called valve pit or the cistern sluice to regulate the pressure of the water that is coming out of the lake. You can see here there is a kind of a mechanism here, and it was recognized as a genius water management techniques by the ancient Sri Lankan people. This makes sure that there's little pressure on the dam when the water comes out, and make sure that the dam is not affected by the pressure and it survives for a long time. That's how these kind of lakes are still surviving even after about 900 years. They are still in their original condition. So what you see behind me is the Polonnaruwa museum. So what I'm going to do is first go inside and look at what is inside. There are a lot of things that you can get to know about when you go inside the museum, but it is not allowed to take pictures or videos inside, so I won't be able to show anything inside the museum. After a 5 minutes ride I came here. This is the statue of King Parakramabahu. So believed to be so. Some say statue of a sage, but there are many things against that belief. That is because if it is a sage, usually there's a sacred thread around the neck of the sage. Then he's normally holding a goblet, and usually has a trident also in his hand. So all these aspects are missing in the statue. So the uh, the belief is that this is actually the statue of King Parakramabahu himself. They have chosen a rock that reflects the color of the skin color of the king himself, because you can see in the behind the rock is of a different color than this one. So that's one more thing that they have considered when they were making the statue. So here the king is holding a yoke in his hand. This reflects the contributions that he had made to the agriculture in Sri Lanka. So he was a king who was very prominent about the development of agriculture. So it is believed that the yoke in his hand reflects that. Now I'm walking towards Pothgul Vehera. So what you see here is that one. So it is actually not known for what purpose this was built, and there's a building in the middle, as well as there are 4 stupas on the 4 corners. So we'll slowly go inside this one. Here we can see a huge stone door frame, and the inside is all round. And parts of the plaster is still remaining in these walls. Now I came through the main entrance here, and just as we enter, there's some interesting stone inscriptions that is there. So this stone inscription was done by King Nissanka, and he says only give the kingship of the country to a Kalinga clan one. So Kalinga clan is, he was since there was no king to replace after King Parakramabahu, he was his wife's brother became the ruler, and he was a Kalinga king. And he says here that not to give the kingship to a person except a Kalinga clan one. If you can't find one, never give the kingship to a Sri Lankan normal person. So he says, ooh, my bicycle fell down, so can't help it now, so it's not going to fall down again, so I'm going to keep it like that for a moment. And okay, continuing with this, he says like a jackal can't be a lion, and a sheep cannot be a horse, and a worm cannot be a cobra, and a firefly cannot be a sun. Similarly, a normal Sri Lankan person is not fit to be a king of Sri Lanka. So on my background is the Parakramabahu audience hall. This is where King Parakramabahu held his important meetings. So now I came to the audience hall of King Parakramabahu. So it's a bit different from the audience hall of King Nissanka. You can see there are more decorations around the walls. So this is done in 2 levels. So there are 2 levels of stairs to climb and the moonstone here. And so all these pillars, they are beautifully decorated with various designs. And in each of these pillars they have put a symbol reflecting who was the person responsible to sit under each of these pillars. So unlike in the Nissanka audience hall, it was written down who's the name officer that is supposed to sit besides the pillar, but here it's indicated by a symbol in the pillar. Various figures crafted here. So in the lowest level there are elephant figures crafted, and we can see each elephant is different from one another, and elephants are supposed to reflect the strength of this building. And here there are lions, and the lions are supposed to reflect sovereignty. And on the top level there are various kind of dwarf figures. Dwarfs are generally the protectors of the properties. And another belief about dwarfs is that those dwarfs have committed sins in their previous lives, and because of that they are condemned to hold on to the huge weights, like weights of these buildings. The building that we see in the distance is the palace of King Parakramabahu, and the Mahavansa or the Great Chronicle describes how magnificent this Parakramabahu palace was in 5 stories and decorated with various pillars, designs, and lianas, and many other things. We can see how huge the walls are. These walls are more than 3 feet thick, and it is done like this because there is no foundation in this building. It was done without a foundation, so the walls had been built heavily. And the holes we see here are the pillars, the holes that held the pillars of the fire floors. So 3 of these floors we can see had been built in brick, and the floors above had been built using wooden pillars. Places we see here are the places where wooden pillars had been held. What is left out of the plaster here. As I already said, these buildings were burned down by the invading king Kalinga Maga, and here we can see some of the parts that had been burned and fallen down. So from this angle we can see how thick the walls are. And this is what is left of the staircase that was used to go up. So what we see here is an attached bathroom inside the palace itself. So even around 900 years ago they have had attached bathrooms to their palace. This is a side on view of the palace. This one is called Kumara Pond, meaning the Prince Pond. So this is where they are supposed to be changing their clothes before getting into the pond. So what we see here is the building they call as Shiva Dewala number 1. Uh, while they were building this road, they had to relocate the Shiva Dewala. That's why we see these parts being scattered here. But they will be rebuilding the Dewala into its original condition in a while. Now I'm going to enter the sacred quadrangle. This is where the sacred tooth relic had been kept and venerated in various kind of buildings. So this complex, it has all the aspects that a temple needs as well. So this building that we see here is the Tuparam image house, and here it contains some Buddha statues, and people uh, go inside and venerate these Buddha statues. So we see here seated as well as standing Buddha statues. And here there had been a large Buddha statue, but it had been fallen down, and there's a hole in the top, and from this hole, when sunlight and moonlight comes in and falls to the statues, these statues are supposed to glitter. And in the statue that was here, there was two gemstones that had been studded in the eyes, and when the light hits the gemstones, they could reflect on these other Buddha statues as well, and they would also glitter. And the statues had been done using moonshine stones. You can see the glitter when the light falls on this. And in these walls, there had been beautiful paintings that had been done, but now it's mostly deteriorated, and we can see only the uh, shades of these paintings. And we can do the ambulatory worshipping here. We can go around the Buddha statue and come back. We can see the beautiful decorations and designs they have done on the outside walls as well. So here we see the lion figures that we usually see in most of the buildings. And this one's called the Nissanka Latha Mandapa. This building had been built by King Nissanka to listen to special Pirit chantings. Pirits are special kind of verses that they chant for blessing the people. And you can see how beautifully these pillars had been decorated. They have decorated to reflect the stem of a lotus flower. And here in the middle there's a stupa, a small one, and they say this stupa was used to keep the uh, tooth relic when pirits were chanted. And this statue is believed to be the statue of King Bahu, who was the king who chased away the Cholas. And also there's another belief that this can be a statue of a Bodhisattva also, which is an aspirant Buddha. And this is the Atadage. This is the temple where first the tooth relic had been kept in Polonnaruwa. This was built by King Vijayabahu, and we can see some beautiful decorations in the pillars, and there's a Buddha statue in the middle, and the tooth relic had always been kept in the upper floors. So the lower floor or the ground floor had always been an image house. So that's why there are many Buddha statues in the lower floor. Design is called Latha or the uh, liana or the vine with woman figures in it, and this is a popular design that is used in these kind of pillars. This is Atadage built by King Nissanka, and this was also another place where tooth relic was kept. So it also has features such as Buddha statues inside the temple, because the first floor is usually a image house, and there are guard stones also at the entrance, and the moonstone and the balustrade with the mythical dragon. And there are 3 standing Buddha statues inside, and on the top floor the tooth relic was kept and worshipped. And this is Atadage, the tooth relic temple built by King Parakramabahu. Here also they have the moonstone, the decorated flight of steps, and the guard stones and the balustrades. And there are 4 Buddha statues that are kept facing the 4 directions. And the inside walls had been decorated with murals, but all those murals had got erased by now. Here also the figures of lion and the doves are here as designs. And there are 4 entrances to the first level of the Atadage. And this is the Gal Potha inscription by King Nissanka, a huge stone slab inscription which is estimated to be 25 tons heavy, and there are 72 lines of writings in this inscription where he describes about many things that he had done as a king. And the letters here belong to the 12th century, and they are almost like the letters that we use in our Sinhala language now. And this is Satmahal Parasada, 7-storied stupa, and this is not the kind of stupa that we commonly find in Sri Lanka, and it reflects the kind of stupas that are made in Thailand in this kind of shapes. Now I am at the Pothgul Vehera complex. There's a stupa in the middle which is a truncated stupa, and there are Buddha statues that surround the stupa as well as some other small buildings. There would have been a Buddha statue here as well, but it's no longer there to be seen. And there is a large standing Buddha statue as well as two smaller Buddha statues. The head is missing here. And this one would have been a reclining Buddha statue from the shape of it. And this bowl would have been used to clean the feet before getting into the image house. And there are two Buddha statues here looking at each other. As well as a seated Buddha statue. So this stupa, as well as being a truncated stupa, it is surrounded by several image houses. This is the Vishnu Dewale here, and we can see a statue of God Vishnu in the middle, and the devotees have put some flowers also here. This stupa here is Manik Vihara, and this one is also a truncated stupa. And in the entrance to the stupa we can see this guard zones as well. And next to the stupa we see the image house here as well. And this stupa we see here is called the Rankoth Vehera, and especially the name is due to the type of spire and the pinnacle it has. So this is the Kiri Vihara, the stupa of the Alahana Pirivena complex, and this has been renovated recently, fully whitewashed. And now I'm going towards this colossal Lankathilaka image house. You can see how huge it is. So only few floors have been left out of many floors that were standing when it was built. And there's this huge Buddha statue as well. And the head had fallen off recently, and the image house had been built in a way that we can do ambiguous worshipping. I can go around the Buddha statue and worship it. There are some wires that they have drawn, so for the sake of being safe, I'm not going to do that right now. So here we can go to the top level as well and worship. The stairs had been built in a narrow way, so a person who's climbing up the stairs would not turn his backside towards the Buddha statue. So you can see these colossal beams. This would have supported the much higher structure. There are figures that had been made inside, and the walls would have been painted with murals. There are pictures that are remaining of the murals that they would have had here. These walls would have been painted with these pictures, so it would have looked really beautiful when it was like that. And what you see there is the drummer's hall, where usually inside, in front of a image house, you would have a drummer's hall for the drummers to do some drumming when they're performing the rituals of worshipping the Buddha. Here we see different sizes of bricks have been used. For example, these are large bricks and these are really small bricks to match the kind of area that they are doing and kind of the structural part that they are building. We can see here these bricks are really huh? Oh, Doraya Tunzi and Abdas Pansia Kidran, Abdas Pansia Kogatinurka. So they have used 27 types of bricks for making this structure. They are not bad. Yeah, these bricks are totally different, and here it's also different. And the image house has a beautifully decorated balustrade, where there are three lady figures that are in the balustrade, and it's only here that you can find this kind of a design in a balustrade. And the guard stone also contains an inscription here. Again, this is the view of the Lankathilaka image house. We can see these beautiful designs outside, and if they look like this when it's all dilapidated and all, can imagine how beautiful it would have looked when it's in its original condition. And they have regulated the water flow very efficiently, where we can see that for the water that collects inside, they have put these kind of openings and conduits for the water to properly go out. Here we see a square moonstone inside this Alahana Pirivena complex. Now I'm at Baddasima Pasada. This is the chapter house of the Alahana Pirivena complex, and it is said that this building was 12 stories high, but now we can only see like 1 story. And this is mainly used for disciplinary actions. and when there's some function happening inside, they are drawing a line around these markers, and so no one is allowed to enter at that time except the monks. Even the king is not allowed to enter. So here this post, the replica of this has been used to make the scepter of the parliament, and they are using it now when they are conducting the parliamentary sessions. So this is the place where the main monk is sitting when they are conducting disciplinary procedures and meetings. And what we see over here is individual monk cells, and they say that there are more than 5,000 monk cells within these premises, and they had toilets, attached bathrooms for all those monk cells. This is also an example of how they have allowed the water to go out of this area of the stupa, and it's just not a drainage pipe. They have beautifully decorated this drainage pipe as well. Now I am at Gal Vihara, and this is a single standing stone. Then they have made several Buddha statues out of the standing rock itself, and the specialty is that they have very well used the area of the rock, where you can see at places where it is not so tall and it is lengthy. They have made this reclining Buddha statue, and at the place where it is tallest, they have made the standing Buddha statue, and in the places where it's kind of square, they have used it for the seated Buddha statue. And in this area of the rock, they have carved into the rock and made a cave out of it, and made a Buddha statue inside the rock. So this is the reclining Buddha statue. You can see how beautifully it is crafted. You can see even the pillow. The artist has reflected that when it is sleeping, pillow just goes down a bit due to the pressure. And the standing Buddha statue is also beautifully decorated, and the posture here is the universal kindness posture, where the Buddha is looking kindly at the whole universe, how he can help out and sympathize. Buddha statue inside the Guha is a reflection of the situation where the Buddha had visited the God's arcade, and he was preaching to the gods. And even here it is depicted that the god Brahman, god Vishnu are even worshipping the Buddha at that time. So under this Buddha statue, we can see the Vajra symbol. This Vajra symbol belongs to not exactly Theravada Buddhism, so here it symbolizes the influence of other types of Buddhist teachings into the Buddhism practiced at that time at the Polonnaruwa period. So after a bit of a ride, now I came to the Lotus Pond, and as we can see, this pond is beautifully designed in the shape of a bloomed lotus, and this has inspired in making the Lotus theatre in Colombo, the largest theatre in Sri Lanka. And we can get down to the pond from here, and then go down layer by layer depending on the level of the water. So after full day of riding the bicycle, I came at my final destination. This is Tiwanka Image House. So when this is done, all the monuments that I should cover in Polonnaruwa would be done. So a bit of tiring day, but definitely worth it. Tiwanka Image House. This one also beautifully decorated and totally built with bricks, and the roof itself is also a vaulted roof. The roof was done using the bricks, and it's a rounded roof, and it would connect at the top. Here we see the lion figure that we see everywhere, and here it is different kind of postures the lion are having. This one also a huge structure, and they have put up a roof to prevent further damages to the image house. Renovations are also in progress. In here we see so this is the entrance to the image house. In the balustrade it has a lion figure. Video කරන්න බැරිද? I just went inside the image house and came back now. But I was told that we are not allowed to take photos or videos inside the place. But there were really beautiful paintings inside. Like when I visited the Lankathilaka image house, these paintings they were all erased, but here they were still intact, mostly still intact, and we can see how beautiful those paintings are when we go inside. But unfortunately I couldn't take any of those into my video because they don't allow that. So this finishes my tour of Polonnaruwa, and I covered all the monuments that we would normally see and is there to see there in Polonnaruwa. So if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel, Tour Guides Diary Taranga. Thank you.